Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I'm going to do Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you now, so take a deep breath. Okay, so this is for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames. Today is January. There might be something about January right now, but this is July 29th, 2020. And if you're not familiar with my reads, it is a 7-deck read. So it is for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames, but it affects the masculine within the feminine as well. And it is a general reading, so if something doesn't resonate with you, please don't force it to fit. All of my information is below about my website, twinflames3344.com, and my Gmail at the same address. And if you should need any of my services. And I also have a CD or an album, whatever you want to call it, out there. It's called Ashes, Twin Towers to Twin Flames. And you can get that on CD Baby, iTunes, Google Play, and Amazon as well. And I think there's a web series for my daughter that just got accepted to Amazon Prime, I think. And I think it's out there now. I don't have Amazon Prime, so I'll have to get it, but I'm kind of excited about that. So the Syrian Starseed deck, which is the main deck for the read, was cut and dealt at 10:10 this morning, which is all about the Wheel of Fortune and turns for the better. And the day being 29. 29 is the Three of Wands, being very present in the moment. And the day adds up to 40 today, which is the Page of Cups. Very innocent love, sweet love, puppy love, children, newborns, and being very present to that, and the gift of the present moment. Also, some things were coming up. I told you that myrrh had come up. And what's the other? What's it called? Well, there's some things that were coming up for those for lack of sleep, but also tannins were coming up for constipation, Tannins. So natural tannins for constipation. They're in a lot of berries and things like that. You can look that up if you'd like. But just wanted to let you know, because different cures, natural cures were coming up. And algae, brown algae was coming up as well regarding that. I believe it is a tannin. So let's see here. At 10:38, and 10 being, again, the Wheel of Fortune, 38 is the Queen of Cups. That was very significant today, the Queen of Cups. She's actually the card in the underlying energy on the top or the bottom of the deck. When I was clarifying the King of Cups, which is the challenge for the masculine today, and the King of Cups is reversed. The Six of Swords had come up reversed, which is a lack of peace. And then the Knight of Pentacles and the Ace of Cups came up upright. But the cards didn't fit in order for me to put those other two cards down. And when I wrote to put down, it wrote don't. So it was like telling me don't put them down. So no peace. So the Knight of Pentacles proposes to the Sovereign, perhaps, or the Queen of Pentacles, who returns the Ace of Cups as well, or the Page of Wands returning with the Ace of Cups. Love by stealing from the Hanged Man, reaping rewards and holding back their feelings. Of the Ten of Swords, which is the ending of pain, as the Page of Cups, the King of Wands, and they're like with each other, and then right next to them is the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Cups facing each other, and they're all upright. So it's definitely comings together here. And the Queen of Cups is very significant. And the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups are facing each other, and they're both upright. The King of Cups is reversed. So that's another energy. And that has to do with conditions of love as well. The read was finished with all the clarifiers at 10:47 to 48. 47 and 48 are the 7 and 8 of Cups. And then the major arcana that came up were Strength, Tower, Guidance, which is like the Hierophant in this deck, the hanging man or the hanged man. And then before the reed, because I always pull a few cards on either end, before the reed with the shadow, which is like the devil. And after the reed, karma came up, which is like judgment. We had 2 cups, 3 pentacles, 2 wands, and there were no swords in the reed, in the main cards. The Queen of Cups came up, the King of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and the Page of Pentacles. So they're both matched. It could be 2 parents and 2 kids, or they could be totally 2 separate groups. The Queen of Cups and King of Cups as a couple or siblings. And then the Knight of Pentacles and Page of Pentacles could also be a couple or siblings, just in a younger energy. We also, the 9 of Wands came up, the Wounded Warrior, and the King of Swords came up after the reed. There were very few numbers in this reed. We had 2, 7, 9, and that was it in the main part of the reed. 2 is the High Priestess, and then 79 is that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. So it's the High Priestess is your intuition, secrets, and then the pot of gold. And also the number 10 came up in a lesser sense. So 9, 10 begin again. Just a reminder to keep your vibration high and start over again and again and again. Always keep coming back to 0 point. The message here on the code line, there were no numbers associated with the code line today. It was just all about abundance and love partnership. The A in abundance was covered. So it's like abundance, and I've told you this a lot before with BUN, is clearance of the kidney, that our organs are natural transmuters. Just like we transmute the etheric energies, our body transmutes our organs transmute our bodily energies, the things that we eat and digest. So A was separate from bun dance, and that can also be a dance, like you're watching somebody's butt with their bun dance. And then the love partnership came up with the PA covered, and that can reference Pennsylvania, which is the state I live in. It can represent the Pa or the father. But I looked it up, and I was very surprised how many definitions came up for Pa besides father. It came up as unfortified village, without, not, the number 4, the number 10, kiss, bread, to die, D-Y-E, the head, to finish, water, during or through, under, by, like B-Y-E, although, even if, to give, pig, leg and foot, and then father, grandfather, but also cousin is referenced here as well. That was interesting. So the message here regarding, and I'm losing my voice a little bit here, regarding abundance and love partnership. The other numbers that came up here were 232. I think that's a root near me, actually. 232 is 2 and 32, which is the High Priestess and the Journeyman, or it could be 23 and 2, which is the King of Wands and the High Priestess. And then we have 2, which is the High Priestess. 7 and 9 we already talked about that, but separately 7 and 9 are the Chariot and the Hermit. Then we have 27, which is the Ace of Wands, and 79, again, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, and 9, 10 begin again. So the message here regarding abundance and love partnership was all about the key here. Like literally in the code line, the word key came up 3 different times. So the key in the show of power, again, 9-inch nails were coming up, which is a way some mothers, have control over their children when they're out to dinner. I've witnessed that firsthand, not my mother, but I've witnessed it. And then the Christ consciousness and the Jesus energy, right? Because they're different energies. One is more etheric, one is more human-based. And then source, using the divine feminine energy as the keys, and then the Florida keys were coming up to stir up the emotions, the heart, and the bad spirits, right? Shake them up to get them out. That also to the divine masculine, that the divine feminine is the key to your heart, in other words. The key is 90. The number 90 was coming up here as well. I'm not sure exactly why. 90 is the hermit with the 0 behind it, right? And 9 is also the wise one, the collective consciousness. So it represents the whole collective. The key is the collective consciousness, which is the divine feminine, because she is the more etheric, the chakra system that toggles up to the collective consciousness. And then the keys of the divine feminine stirs up the negative spirits in abundance, a transmutation dance, or literally a physical dance. And then the love partnership, and then partnership, the PA was covered, so it was breaking up PA from artnership, so regarding the arts and being creative, but also mercyship was coming up there, and PA and RT has to do with technologists, radiology techs or RT. And then PA is a physician's assistant. So that stuff was coming up too with a Mercy ship. So some people may be going on a Mercy ship to do some work. Another acronym or abbreviation that was coming up here was KER, K-E-R. And it does mean bad spirits in the Greek religion, destructive spirit. That's what I always thought it meant. I thought I'd looked up the Wiktionary definition, but I looked at it now, and there's a lot of different definitions other than that. It also means key. It means kernel. It means thigh and deaf. It means tub, vat, vessel, container, goblet. It means mule or dog, which are domesticated animals. It means to sleep, shrub, bush, dirt, and because. And dog was coming out as slang, so like a person who's a dog, which would be a negative spirit. And then RT came up, which is an abbreviation for right and root, and I think it's retreat that I wrote. But it also means a cape, or is it pronounced promontory? It also means headland. And so the head being the peak of the body, right? But this was coming up in another word because the Florida Keys are at the tip of Florida, of the peninsula. That was also coming up. And then what else was coming up here? Those were the only things. But then the Florida Keys were coming up as a significant thing here. So the Florida Keys, for those of you not very familiar, it's more than 1,700 islands, 198 square miles, from Soldier Keys to Dry Tortugas, and then they're described as an archipelago, which is a large chain or group of islands off the southeast coast of Florida. And southeast was definitely coming up here in the Reed. It is the southeastmost part of the United States. It's about 15 miles south of Miami. And then it runs south, the chain runs southwest and then completely west. It's made of coral and limestone. And it's southwest about 220 miles from Virginia Key in the Atlantic Ocean, south of Miami Beach, and then to Loggerhead Key in the Gulf of Mexico. 43 of the islands can be reached by car via US 1, which runs along the intercoastal. And then in 1912, Henry Flagler extended the Florida East Coast Railroad from Miami to Key West. So that's when they started having access to the islands. So the number 90 was coming up from the code line, and then I was guided to take the 43 away from that, and that equals 47, which was a number that was coming up for me specifically today. But 47 is also the Seven of Cups. And also, in my numerology, August is 47. So there's something significant about August here for the twins. And of course, Lionsgate is 8/8, so this is very significant coming up. Some of the stuff that just came up online for this read. The first thing that came up was Ninja Sex Party, which is a New York comedy band on YouTube. An article, a PDF from ResearchNet was time-dependent diagnostic performance of a rapid ... It was troponin T version 2 bedside test in patients with acute coronary syndrome. So that was about heart testing if anyone's having heart issues. And then another header came up with Hunter's Dream from Bloodborne, fandom.com. The hunter, realizing the dream of the beast, was bound to his consciousness, each requiring the existence of each other, the beast and the hunter, right? So you don't need to be a hunter unless there's a beast to hunt. The Silver Chalice came up 3 times, and for me, I was getting immediately, it was referencing always being number 2. They were coming up from Gloria TV and YouTube, and TCM.com. And then someone from the Silver Chalice came up. I'm not familiar with it, but Pierre Angeli, which I think is a female actually, from imdb.com. Pier is the first name, and second name is Angeli. And this person was in the Silver Chalice, but also And the word flame was nowhere in the code line. This person's in the silver chalice and the flame and the flesh from 1954, both of them. And 54 is the page of swords, the message. So I turn the page, now it's 1147, so that 47 is coming up again. And that's 11 of justice. And going back to the code line and the key of the source energy and the show of power of the Christ and the source of the divine feminine, the southeast of Florida, which is the Florida Keys, which also is a main point of the Bermuda Triangle, which is also significant, and the stirring of chalices or emotions or heart with negative energies or to sleep energies. And then those the natural cures were coming up again, because to sleep, insomnia was coming up. That's why myrrh and I'm trying to think what the other one was called. I know I wrote it down again, but I guess it'll come up. So things that help you go to sleep, like myrrh, and then death coming up is coming up in association with needing to sleep, because literally it's like being deaf to the world, because when you can't hear, your mind's not circling anymore. People who have insomnia, their mind's circling over and over again. But it's like showing you, like, to be able to sleep is like being deaf to the world. It's like shutting off your brain. So if you find a way to shut your brain off, then you'll be able to go to sleep better. And again, that myrrh was coming up. And the goblet, the container, the mule, the dog. So again, domesticated animals could be referencing some of the masculines as domesticated animals. And just the goblet or the Holy Grail was coming up again here. And the head also being like the cape, like the Florida Keys being the tip of the peninsula. Just like the head or the third eye is the tip of the human, the tip of the iceberg. And the key of 90 of the divine feminine keys, the keys in Florida. The stir or steering of emotions, of the deaf that can't hear, to sleep being key. And also the kernel was coming up. So I was just talking about apricot kernels. Now, they all have cyanide in them, but apricot's the one that's most potent with the amygdalin. So I'm not sure which kernel they were referencing here, but it may that be that amygdalin helps for sleep issues as well. Divine feminine is the Holy Grail, the chalice, the goblet. Sleep and I shall soothe you, calm you and anoint you. Mirth for your hot forehead, oh, don't you know everything's all right, yes, everything's fine, and it's cool and the ointment's sweet for the fire in your head and feet. Close your eyes and relax, think of nothing tonight. So that was coming up again, that came up yesterday. And again, the headland is referencing again the tip of the iceberg, the tip of the human, the third eye. The key of the Christ in source, the show of power, the divine feminine keys of the 1700 keys, and the 43 that are easily accessible to steer or stir emotions of the heart, the poison and the Holy Grail, all at the same time. Or in other words, the apricot seeds, the kernels, the amygdalin, or the Trojan horse. So the Trojan was coming up, and then Achilles. The Achilles heel, but Achilles killing Penthesilea, which I was getting peninsula from that. So the Achilles heel, or the peninsula of the United States, is the Florida Keys, literally. And so the Trojan horse was coming up because, again, amygdalin and dealing with cancer. I did research with cancer patients. I was a radiology research person, interventional radiology, for 25 years. So those are some of the things I worked with. And then when I injured myself, I was doing a lot of research on my back issues, but also on cancer issues, on natural cures. And one of those things was amygdalin. And amygdalin has cyanide in it, but from what I read and what I understand, the human body doesn't have the enzyme that actually can break into the cyanide in the kernel. The only way of getting to the cyanide is through the enzyme in cancer cells, which is why it's so potent for killing cancer. So literally, the cyanide doesn't open until it hits a cancer cell, and then if you do have cancer, it hits the cancer cell, it opens, and then the cyanide kills the cancer. So that's the way the Trojan horse works. There's other Trojan horses, like I think it's cottage cheese and organic olive oil, or is it? I don't know if it was cottage cheese or if it was baking powder. It's a typical Trojan horse cure for cancer, though. You can look that up. I can't remember exactly what it was. But it works on the same principle. You use sugar, cancer loves sugar. So you use something that's sweet to get it in there, and then you use something that will kill it once it gets in there. So the Trojan horse and the Achilles heel was coming up. The Trojan horse regarding the fall of the city of Troy in 460 BCE. Trojan horse also references computer malware, the nuclear power plant in Oregon. My parents used to live in Oregon. A group of scholars, the Grammarians' War in England of 1519 to 21. And then when I was online, there was a heading there that literally said, Trump's new Biden attack, socialist Trojan horse, painting Biden as an empty vessel for socialist radicals to exploit. So then I was looking up the reference to Florida's peninsula as the Achilles heel of the U.S. because of the Trojan horse. And just Corona was coming up because Fox 35 Orlando came up, which referenced Florida. And what came up in that had to do with Corona. It said research shows a specific position of the virus could be targeted with vaccines after they mapped a human antibody's interaction with the SARS-CoV-2 at near atomic scale resolution, according to a statement from Scripps Research. Antibody taken from the SARS patient was several years ago, though, but reacts to the SARS-CoV-2 as well. So this is just them, reporting on what they found as far as developing vaccines. And then the quote-unquote virus part being the Achilles heel, which is where Achilles heel came up in this report. This region, hidden in the virus, and only exposed when that part of the virus changes. So just like I was talking about amygdalin, the cyanide doesn't get exposed unless it's exposed to something that can break it down. So in this case, in the human body, it was the cancer cell that was the only thing that could break it down. So this is saying the same kind of thing. Only exposed, this thing hidden in the virus is only exposed when that part of the virus changes its structure as it would in natural infection, or per co-author Mengwan added. Seeking recovered COVID-19 patient, they're seeking patients to donate blood to screen for antibodies. But I'm also feeling like they're researching the antibodies of the people who got over it, so they can know how to, for warfare, they can figure that out on how someone then wouldn't be able to recover from it as well. So you can look at this at all different ways on why they want your blood to screen for antibodies. It can be for a cure. It can be for the other reason too, for other people who don't want a cure. So then I wanted to kind of reiterate on the numbers about corona and the flu, because as I'm reiterating about the flu, that the coronavirus is a flu, that 20%, up to 20%, 5 to 20% of all people in the world get the flu every year. And I don't know if they've changed the numbers since I last looked, but definitely the last time I looked, it was up to 20% got the flu, and up to 1 million people would die every year of the normal flu. And keep in mind, that's with all the vaccines we have for the flu already. We're still having 1 million people die. When I just looked at the numbers that were coming up today, they were more like, 600,000 across the world, or 600,000 or 700,000 across the world. But this is the regular flu. So it's still flu, so it might kill more people than the flu. I can't say, but all I can tell you, there's a lot of false reporting. I just talked to someone who said she was supposed to get tested because her sister had come up positive, and she didn't end up going in for the test for whatever the reason was, and her test result came back positive, and she didn't even go in for the test. So there are definitely false positives being reported. And don't forget that the normal flu, most of them don't get reported. I've had the flu and I didn't report it. So the numbers are big. They're taking all the numbers of random things that they don't know whether they had the flu or not, and just assuming they have the flu to err to the side of being worse than it actually is. So just to bring that up to date. So, and as I was writing this stuff down, finishing up, a bird hit my front window in a gentle way. Not that the bird would have gotten hurt, but also reiterating the COVID-19, referencing the translation of the code C, sheep, surrender. The letter C is the C, the ovid meaning the sheep, and 19 referencing surrender in ancient times. So C, sheep, surrender. So being that could be a covert code of how to keep us in masks, so that so that everybody will be subservient to the dark 1%ers. So that's enough about that. I'm not going to talk much about that, but it did come up here, so I wanted to bring it up. The Florida Keys came up, orthopedics in Key Largo, Florida, as well as Achilles, South Florida sports medicine. Okay, so getting into this read at 104. 1 is the Magician, 4 is the Emperor. We started here with the Queen of Cups upright. Queen of Cups is right there with the clarification cards on top. She is upright, and below the Queen of Cups we had the Ten of Wands reversed and the Shadow reversed. So the Queen of Cups, after surrender, confession, dumping a load, a burden, a responsibility, or all of their responsibilities by detoxing chaos. Dumping a load on the dark night, the death, the end, the transition across the 4D bridge, in a wake-up call that's hard to awaken to. Wiping the sleep, and I was just getting the sheep from his eyes. Wiping the sleep from his eyes, or not sleeping at all, or the Queen of Cups confessing or receiving confession from Scorpio and Aquarius, or they're the same person. Perhaps about suffering in silence, or a sister, or afraid of death. And final rites, the Last Judgment, the rebirthing process. Juggling performance, showing a high hand while half are dissatisfied. Did I write half or two? So while half dissatisfied player falling short or holding back their true desires about the Six of Cups, twins or loving children or soulmates. And before I go any further, I want to show you the basic read too, so you see the main cards for the read. All right, so those are the main cards. And then you have the rest of the read on the table. So juggling, performance, showing a high hand, while half dissatisfied player, falling short or holding back true desires about the Six of Cups, twins, loving children, or soulmates. Unhappy with performance, or fell off the horse or beam, or still received an award, it just wasn't first prize, or the Divine Masculine gives his loving cup to make up for the prize they didn't win, or because he fell short and was dark or judgmental or caused suffering and wants to make up for it with the Queen of Cups. So this could be regarding the twin, or it can be regarding their children as well. Definitely sports competitions were coming up, so someone who maybe didn't get first place or wasn't able to compete because of the social distancing stuff, somebody giving them a prize anyway, right, to make up for it. The Queen of Cups here, she deals in cups and is not impressed by swords, pentacles, and wands, or any kind of competition for that matter. Hard work is done and detoxing through shadow work. So no more hard work. Just doing your shadow work. You don't have to have a job that's hard actually to be worth something in this world. Capricorn reversed, Scorpio upright, Aquarius upright, Sagittarius reversed, perhaps Libra reversed was also coming up here. Avoiding disaster, or in the aftermath of sudden events, epiphanies, eruptions, explosions, whatever your situation. There's an offered new life or compensation given to make up for the past. The whistleblower, or on low vibration, or the wounded warrior aroused by offering this, or upping the ante after not having much to offer and being on their last leg. So it's saying instead of meeting them face to face, like and playing poker, instead of calling and being equal, they're always wanting to up the ante so that then you're never on the same plane, you see? So alchemizing the 3D vibe into the unity consciousness in a poker game of consciousness instead of just calling. Competing by doing one better. The wounded warrior not sleeping, stressed, purging, or just suffering in silence in downturn, slowdown, or twist of fate. Kids learning about the glass ceiling and the Sphinx in a timeout or detention with the goose no longer flapping their wings and partner playing the part of angel, pretending to have not known, or guilt by association. The gate is wide open to Peter Pan, Demi, and more fridges, boat bridges, or bow. Was it bow? Nope, bow. I gotta start this over again. The gate is wide open to Peter Pan, Demi, and more fridges, bow bridges, and arrows of love, and Tinkle Bell tolls, Quasimodo and Ben stills her as the clock strikes 12, and oneness going back within. At 1:35 is the magician and the 35 of the wounded warrior. The gates are all overgrown as pain becomes lessons learned and growing up. As Peter Pan says, I don't wanna. It's a hard knocks life. It's time to get to work. Overslept again, feeling like a Mack truck hit you, unable to open your eyes, having compassion for self. Third leg, or in a 3-legged race, the tripod makes it harder to move at your own pace, needing to work as one. The inside lane, interference, joined at the hip. If you try to move without awareness of the other, the step fails. You must wait for the other to catch up and be patient. Chocolate and caramel help sometimes, or brown algae, pomegranate, strawberries, raspberries, blueberries, and cranberries are some. You might want to try some at 142, which is the magician and the 2 of cups. The 3 of pentacles reversed. The workplaces are places of co-creation with issues with strong insecurities, manipulations, or a need for tools, or issues between Leo upright, or ego, and Gemini reversed, or Virgo reversed, post-war, dealing with PTSD, looting, and apologies that are needed. The Queen of Swords reversed, with the perhaps in deep grief, not mirroring, perhaps bitching, or silent treatment, or verbally abusive. 2 no longer at the gate, the divine masculine no longer being told what to do, or treated like a servant or a child. The dark high priestess reversed without keys, or no cleavage, or one who already dropped the keys off, or past the bubble phase, no shocks or surprises as the Trojan lets you in, but doesn't let you out, and insists on preventing multiplying and beating a dead horse. Or someone quit selling houses or showing houses, or just bought or sold a home. Someone shocked their secret got out of hair pulling and whips, dragons or Dungeons and Dragons, something kids are not allowed to see. Perhaps somebody's into reenactments or role playing, or absent at roll call and parents found out. Cooking something up, a recipe for disaster, or for hemorrhoids or constipation or insomnia, natural remedies, or ass kissing frustrations, or constipation needing tannins, which I brought up already, and how to identify if you are being poisoned or not. Stretching every hair or long as it will go, and black diapers so no one will know, or watching cooking shows or Top Chef while whipping the family into shape in 3-legged race. Perhaps drying herbs or cooking aromatic meals, or making house smell good so it will sell, and feeling homey, or not smelling of stink of feet and cat, while holding the cat down or hiding them from view, but bell and toes give them away, or someone cuts hair or refuses to pay for kids to get their hair cut at the salon, or forcing someone to cut their hair off and donate to Locks of Love, while the other person's on all fours, begging them not to. And health comes up here. So health, which is number 71, which is the co-creation energy for me. And beneath that was spiritual career, even more so, which is 78, which is the 10 of Pentacles, that dream family or community. 204 is the High Priestess and the Emperor. So 205, where the Hierophant comes in, dumped, purging, pushed to their emotional limits, or squeezing out of your body every last ounce of fluid. Somebody might be doing that to make a weight as well. Or trading in one big cup for lots of smaller ones, synchronicities, choices, dreams, focused on one, or prefers variety. The magician with the tools to make it happen, ending the conflict of the battle of the sexes, or exes, or executives. Surrender and control versus giving up and persistence. Being persistent or never giving up without trying to control causes the other to cave and surrender naturally. Giving up on the past and the Queen of Wands reversed, or both surrender, so no one wins in the past or in looking back at it. Ass and grass smells, overgrowth and undergrowth, planting roots and digging them up, playing dirty, digging up the past. Ships that sailed long ago, snakes and lizards into the grass, and ladybugs turning brown from watching in secret. The purity is long gone, or someone jumped but didn't survive. Memories of first loves, lusts, obsessions that never die, or deaths that haunt you, the guilt of surviving without them, or just missing them, or someone who jumped from a plane, a ski jump, a bridge, or just bungeeing, and something just went terribly wrong. And swearing it would never ever happen again at 220, which is the High Priestess and Judgment. So judging yourself here, which is a wound. So then the dentist called at 222 here, 2221 to 222. So that's again guidance counseling. So some people out there might need to go to the dentist who haven't been, or at least clean your teeth. And the Queen of Wands is coming up here reversed, and the Queen of Cups upright in a twist of fate, post-war POWs of health camp, PTSD, looting, or shocking revelations or reservations online, or a need for apologies, humbling circumstances, or working out at home while learning, watching things online. Beauty and the Beast boot camp was coming up for me. Whipping your ass into shape. Ass has been coming up a lot in this reading. Whipping your ass into shape. Health and Wellness Center. And then Enigma came up, and I was getting Vogue, 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 like a echo. Vogue, Vogue, Vogue. Or 2 to 3 women going into business together. Or the Queen of Pentacles upright and the Queen of Cups upright, but the Queen of Wands reversed and the Queen of Swords reversed are not happy about it, or unable to compete with online media. Or the war is over of Sphinx versus Minx, the golden egg laid and the goose is cooked. Or watching the same things with 2 totally different perspectives, the Queen of Wands reversed and the Queen of Cups upright. No longer at war with things you hear and don't understand, now allowing a new perspective to come in, for health reasons perhaps, creativity, and using your third eye at 234, shut the door. And this is 2 of the High Priestess, 34 of the 8 of Wands, which is expressing your feelings, energetic exchange, and the arrows of love, as well as lots of fast-paced communications and or travel. The Knight of Pentacles upright proposing after losing patience with secret out or secret passion, not sleeping and rising above, awakening at night, or with Cancer, King of Pentacles, on a quest to heal and forgive. Done aligning with dark blocks to cross the bridge with a 10.0 landing score, as you hear the applause. Present to gift of the moment at night in howling at the moon, or just a moment of silence, or out on the range, the hermit with light on, over the King of Wands watching down below, keeping his eye on the tail, the long line of or story to tell, his story, history, her story, and the truth somewhere in the middle at vacuuming time, ground zero point, presence of field, goal, and not focus on outcomes, just the joy of the ball up in the air, the happiness in the pursuit of now, the Divine Masculine in pursuit of health, bridging gaps, and rainbow bridge to the present moment where the Hermit and the King of Wands are looking now at the same thing. Sagittarius reversed, Pisces reversed, and Cancer upright, Virgo upright here. The foundation is the Nine of Wands, the wounded warrior upright, resisting, right, refusing to give up, to the heaven in their eyes, synchronicities, epiphanies, and variety, and choosing a gift, offering a new life of the diamond crystalline light, breaking down to connect face to face, eye to eye, or to get Cancer reversed and Taurus reversed on the same page, to see that they like the same things, or that misery loves company. The wounded warrior upright on their last leg, to unity consciousness. If Cancer reversed and Taurus reversed don't like it, they will at least have each other to commiserate with. Or a state of emergency is helping to slow things down and connect with synchronicities and to see those in lack, or see people who see people for who they really are. Do they feed into illness or do they feed into health? After all, you are the company you keep. You should be joyful, positive, and healthy at 252, which is the High Priestess and the Queen of Swords. The central energy here is the Seven of Wands reversed, defenseless to energies, attacks, and feeling ganged up on. Healing while the wounded warrior is guarding the Ten of Cups upright, quote-unquote happy family, because they may not be, offering the whole truth to the Page of Swords with ammunition and ready to swing if needed. Regarding the sovereign or their own sovereignty, and challenged by the King of Cups reversed, not aroused by dissatisfaction and unhappiness alone, despite the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community all around them, still feeling alone. The world complete with the Queen of Swords reversed, or even though in mourning, she's still positive and marching to the beat of her own drum. Or the Ten of Pentacles, family, business, or community, is frustrated by the Divine Feminine's unhappiness and yet seeing her as complete at the same time. Or the Queen of Swords reversed has been around the block, or a neighbor, or is not satisfied until she travels the world, or would prevent the family from traveling together. Or they may see her as a bitch or verbally abusive, no longer aligning with what doesn't work, starting over in love with the Queen of Pentacles, or she is. Unable to find peace at 303, which is two Empresses, the kids having it out with family, or doesn't want to go to the family party. The wounded warrior defenseless and challenged by the King of Cups reversed, where there's no peaceful place to be romantic. To extend an olive branch or blueberry branch with impatient or ex-patient or fallen angel or Sagittarius reverse sovereign, letting go to repair and start over, and the Queen of Pentacles keeping to herself to stay sane. The Three of Cups group, friends, or world come together for dreams to come true in healing, shining their light, stardom, or heaven on earth, with breaking down, up, or through in the state of emergency to slow down, injustice, or the King of Cups reversed and the King of Pentacles upright. They could be lovers with the Page of Cups message of love or child, or both with affection for the child, or group of Pisces upright, Aquarius upright, and then Cancer and Libra both reversed, and Gemini upright to spread the message of love. Now, crowning the masculine is the Page of Pentacles upright, curious about their abilities, or found their niche. Injured and left behind, but a really good student or opportunity and no option but to shed light on it, or go to the doctor, or get something appraised or assessed. Getting their wish, implementing a plan to reignite the torch against the Queen of Wands reverse wishes. There's good news here on the journey leading the way to lover as the Knight of Swords or messenger of truth. This is coming from the journeyman. The Page of Pentacles has an idea that will work, perhaps to feed the homeless or take in teens. The Hermit may be out of options, but the Divine Masculine has a plan to be loved together and just be happy and see where it goes. Or perhaps kids have something up their sleeve. All business relationship is letting go. The Emperor reversed and the Page of Pentacles, child star, taking over or offering new life, or contentment without frustration, healing through massage, and the King of Swords over the group healing and he may be in charge of the group healing as well, with the King of Swords and Queen of Wands, with grieving one between them while she looks the other way. The Three of Wands lovers are twins, and Aquarius, Queen of Wands, and Queen of Wands feeling like a third wheel, while the Queen of Swords is bearing her soul to the world. Or Divine Masculines feeling guilty that the King of Swords, Aquarius, won't let him do anything about it. Or they may be legal issues, or the Queen of Wands is remaining innocent even though she's known the whole time. The Ten of Pentacles dream family, dream girl, or broken fantasy, divorcing at 333 here, or moving in justice, or losing home in justice, in a break or visitation in downturn, or Libra and the King of Pentacles speaking engagement, or talking about child support and visitation, or a new love, or who the father is, or getting tested to see who is. Soon, strength or fire sign breaking through the ring of fire, fully energized, Ten of Pentacles and kids, or Leo ego in full exposure and disclosure at 337, which is the Empress and the King of Cups. Full disclosure at present, detoxing chaos, or Leo versus Capricorn reversed. What did I want to bring up? I was thinking of something while I was reading, and now I can't think of what it was. Oh yeah, well, the Ring of Fire is definitely coming up as August for Lionsgate. And there's definitely, around this time period and also around the March time period, the Jesus, Mary Magdalene template always kind of plays out in certain ways. And it was definitely coming out here. Pilot was coming up, and that'll come up in a minute. But when you're listening to what I'm saying, you might want to be reminded about the dynamics of the situation of the crucifixion and the resurrection, because there may be certain points that actually bring that up for you. So at 337, which is the Empress and the King of Cups being reversed here. I think the Empress is reversed too. So that's some negative energy, or they could be parents who are sick as well. So knowing and keeping to self, avoiding disaster or in the aftermath of freedom, or waiting for the world to be in a better position, or the sealed divine feminine with an open heart is free to leap with or away from Pisces and Scorpio, which could reference the Empress and the King of Cups reversed. Or there's a great affection for their children here, or Scorpio, Pisces, Aries kids keeping quiet, learning to walk away to stay sane and not get off balance. Or the divine feminine's completely free and dark night is restricted, not allowing the changes to happen. One side there's resistance and one side walking away and within, perhaps being of two minds. He sees himself as the Two of Pentacles upright, and in this deck, the Syrian Starseed deck, it's very much about surrender, surrendering his choices to the universe, reaping, receiving, or giving self-love as inspired by ending pain or a powerful ending or betrayal. The Page of Cups and the King of Wands make up, while the Knight of Cups offers love to the Queen of Cups, who already offered her big love, and the King of Wands and Knight of Cups reaping the rewards of that love that she had offered. The Queen of Cups with injustice hanging over the Page of Wands' head, perhaps moving, visit or visitation, or ending marriage and painful and in need of a massage, perhaps. Very soon comes up new love, and this is worth waiting for the masculine. The King of Wands and the Page of Wands, the Queen of Cups and the Knight of Cups and the Page of Cups here. Two families merging, or the divine masculine is like his father and two siblings like their mother, and they're all upright here. Or one is like his father and two siblings are like the mother and he's not like any of them. Surrender to the idea of two littles and two bigs, and only one child is truly affected by the changes. Around him, or how he is seen, is the Tower reversed, where the walls of Jericho come tumbling down, no more separations, the sovereign sharing or single and settling out in the aftermath of sudden events, the prisoner of the King of Pentacles, or POW exchange, offering hostage in exchange for money, or getting off the hook, like getting out of contract perhaps, or the Knight of Pentacles POW and the Hangman thief, and all getting out to make peace in the post-war peace efforts, or Judas is taking back what they said, or returning the 30 pieces of silver, or it could be 3 pieces of silver, or mom's silverware, or cousins may be involved here. We have the King of Pentacles upright, the Queen of Pentacles upright, the Ten of Pentacles upright, the Knight of Pentacles, Page of Pentacles, and Nine of Pentacles all upright. So the Pentacles family is really all upright. The kids settling out beefs between them. This could be siblings or cousins. And the Queen of Cups, Knight of Cups, and Page of Cups family is without the King of Cups who's reversed and the Nine of Cups reversed because they're dissatisfied or having issues. The King of Wands and Page of Wands are together, but the Queen of Wands and Knight of Wands are reversed, so they're mad. And the Wounded Warrior and Swords family have left the building. Only the Page of Wands is inspired by the whole Swords thing. The Nine of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed in the beginning here were displaying the high vibration, but we're not because they're both reversed here. Scorpio and Aquarius causing twins or kids despair. Those two that I was just bringing up. The block for the masculine here is guidance, commitment, and the old way of not expressing feelings and feeling defenseless to attacks. Taurus to Taurus are now free of that. Love partnership comes up in abundance, and even more so here, patience, communication, and then confessing and dumping a load or cleaning dad's diaper about holding back desires, delays in communication or travel, and the Hanging Man stretching at 410, which is the Emperor and the Turn for the Better, the Destiny card. The Hangman stretching with their left leg bent, which is the feminine side, and the right knee still with an anger block, so they may be having pain there. Slowing down the King of Pentacles to see a new perspective on a lover's message he had read, perhaps. Going back to reread things to really understand what they mean. Maybe you see things from a whole different perspective now that there's been a long time. So the Hangman slowing down to see in slow motion, the King of Cups reversed, or why she or he walked away, why the injustice, why the divorce, or Capricorn upright and Libra reversed, emotionally unavailable and detached, or over-emotional with drinking issues or father issues, and learning to walk away and hang out more with kids and with those of great affection or resonance. Seeing his father-son relationship in his relationship with his own kids or partner, and the Hanging Man, the King of Swords, and the final judgment coming up. So someone might have a fear of death. That came up yesterday as well. 415, which is the Emperor and the Devil. Only Jesus, the guard, and God now, letting go to repair, make amends, repent, see the error in their ways. Gemini upright, Libra reversed, Capricorn upright, or Pisces upright, Scorpio upright, or Aquarius upright here. The last confession of the shadow side, the Queen of Cups, Wounded Warrior surrenders in the aftermath of the walls crumbling. The Knight of Pentacles upright, defenseless, and challenged by the King of Cups reversed, which I was getting as Herod. The strong enough to burst through the flames here to their guides, through the glass ceiling, to Buddha and the Akashic Records. The Page of Pentacles studying their lessons of the Hanging Man, or Jesus, with stone cold Aquarius, and I was getting Pilot here. From Pisces to Aquarius, passing the baton, the fish of Pisces to the wave of Aquarius, because the symbol for Aquarius is the wave. So the fish is Pisces. Now we're getting, every time we talk about the wave, it's spirit referencing the age of Aquarius. So then the age of Aquarius was coming up as when it actually starts, because there's no real agreement here on when the start of Aquarius is. But I was just asking in a meditation before the video, and I was getting the 2160 year, because that is the 2160 is the 24 signs rotate, the 25,920 great year precession. But there's different thoughts on that. And also the thought that March 21st is actually the time of the year. Or, at the is it the solstice or the, I always forget. Anyway, you know what I mean. So, and then of course there's other people who think that 2012 was the start of Aquarius. But there's a buffer, just like each planet has a shadow period. There is a shadow period of probably 100 to 200 years on either side of the change from Pisces to Aquarius. So we are in the dawn of the age of Aquarius. but I feel like we're not fully into it, is what they're telling me, until 2160. And also 2160 was coming up from enwikipedia.org. So, the Queen of Cups, the Knight of Pentacles, and then the Queen of Wands reversed, the wounded warrior defenseless to the Page of Pentacles and challenged by the King of Cups reversed. In surrender to the Ring of Fire, the Leo, or August 8th, which is now, right, it's coming up really soon, the wall comes down at Lionsgate with the guide dance of the Hanging Man, or Jesus, the Jesus Mary Magdalene template, and the Aquarian guard. So I was getting that, and this actually made me cry, actually, because I was rereading a little bit about Pilot, because I'm getting Pilot being an air sign, right? And the air sign is someone very much in integrity. And the last cards in this read are the Hangman with the King of Swords above the Hangman, and then the Judgment, the final Judgment. And I'm getting Pilot. I was trying to figure out, they don't have birthdays on Pilot or Herod, but I was getting, by looking at some of the pictures and stuff, my instincts were coming up that Pilot was an air sign and that Herod was more of a water sign, maybe a Pisces or something like that. But I was literally crying because Pilate didn't want to sentence Jesus, and he was forced to by the Jewish community. He had washed his hands of his death because he didn't feel he was guilty. And I literally started to tear up thinking about that. And it's not me to feel that way about, Pilate, or just, reading history about this stuff. So I was definitely getting a high energy connection there. So Pontius Pilate was born around 20 BC to 36 AD, and they were all in exile at this point. He was the judge at the trial, and that was, of course, after death 33. And 33, oh, by the way, when I added up March 21st, 2160, it adds up to 33. So that might be another confirmation that that's the right date. So at AD 33, and then Herod was, his father was the first thing that came up. And then he was called King Herod, but he wasn't a king. He never was a king. It's an Antipater. I always want to say Antipasto when I kept reading this. But he was alive 40 C to 39 AD. Or rather, born before 20 BC, sorry, and then dead in exile in 39, which was the same for Pilate as well. Jesus had referred to Herod as that fox, so obviously he was more tainted. It was coming up as Herod was more tainted. Pilate was more in his integrity. So that was kind of interesting that came up. So the King of Pentacles, so that was the end of the read. And I do want to pull energy cards for you. These cards had come up separately, so there was a lot of focus here on the Queen of Pentacles for the read. And then we have the Three of Pentacles, the Five of Pentacles here. I was just getting Herod again for the Hierophant energy here. And then the Five of Swords, and then the Judgment here. So it's very much about like someone helping the poor or the people who are in need in a business, and then someone attacking them for that and placing judgment on them, which is literally what Pilate was, the position he was put in to Jesus regarding Herod and all that kind of stuff. So it's like this is Herod, but this is Pilate and the judgment of the person who is just trying to help out the people in need. So it's kind of interesting the way the cards came up there. And then these cards came up with the Queen of Pentacles, was then the Queen of Cups reversed, the Ten of Swords, the King of Swords reversed, the Lovers reversed, and then the Six of Cups in the Garden, the inner children. So the Lovers are the inner cup. These are the inner children of the Lovers, and the challenge of them being together. And you see the pain between the Queen of Cups and the King of Swords. So it's very interesting, all of this coming up. I'm going to pull from the energy deck to see what comes up for you now. I hope you followed all that. I know I'm a little bit piecey today. There may be a message in that. So for everybody watching the best and highest, oh, it's 59:59. It just turned the bewitching hour at midnight. I just turned into Cinderella again. Okay. It just turned midnight. The coach turned back into a pumpkin. And it's 8:08 on the clock. Oh my God. All right, it was just 59:59, and we're still in the 1 minute, and it's 8:08 on the clock. Lionsgate. Okay, so you guys, take another deep breath. So for everybody watching, the best and highest good of all is concerned. What do we need to know? What do we need to learn? And also, let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all is concerned, and fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. What is our advice? What is our takeaway from this read today? We have the 30, which is the Four of Wands. Again, it's about the home and feeling very safe at home, but being afraid to go out. And the two butterflies are summoning her to come and play. Then we have the woman holding a heart with the 44, and 44 is the Four of Cups, the grounding and integrating and mastering of love, especially receiving love. Okay. Home, giving love to herself. And then we have the bottom of the deck, which is somebody walking away from the situation. So this is someone leaving the house and excited to do so with 27, which is a new passion. And somebody else, and this could even be 3 different people. One is leaving the situation, one is afraid to leave the house, another one is fully putting her heart out there. So there may actually be 3 people in the situation, but they're all coming up as feminine energies here. And then these 2 cards want to be seen too, the door to value, which is expansion of the 31, the 5 of Wands. And what do you value? Is it money? Is it love? What do you value in your life? You need to know so that you can tell the other person what you value. And then here we have the 10 of the storm brewing. So there's a storm warning and the door to value. So make sure you know what your values are before the storm hits, before the cyclone comes in. I was just getting, this is not 30 pieces of silver, but that's what I was just getting when I looked at it really quick. So I was getting 30 pieces of silver. And I'm getting like a highway guardrail that's been broken down. It's like the walls of Jericho broken down, and it's like, I just want to cry. Oh my gosh. It's literally Judas throwing the 30 pieces of silver back over the fence again, giving it back. The money. I wasn't even thinking of that. This is Judas throwing the 30 pieces of silver back. He doesn't want it anymore. Here's the money being thrown out the door. How much more confirmation can you get? Wow. All right, so now I got to pull from another deck too. I have to go into my Ascension deck because they always go together really well. So my Ascension deck and my Past Life deck, we're going to pull Ascension deck. Boy, they're making me cry today. Very unusual. Pilot, and then now Judas. From my Ascension deck, please. What is your guidance? What are the messages you want us to know? Just breathe. Marco Polo 47. What was the number I brought up in the beginning? Is there another card? I just want to see if there's any cards that want to come out here before I stop. Okay. So there's 5 other cards that want to come up. And then the Sphinx is at the bottom of the deck. Again, is 20, which is Judgment. So I'm going to clarify this. You can read these. I'm not going to read them all, but you can read it on the screen. So the Sphinx is coming up. And that came up in the read as well as the underlying energy here. And then Marco and Polo is coming up. The Master Marco represents the highest galactic confederation of our solar system, the capital of which is on Saturn. He liaises with Commander Ashtar of the Intergalactic Fleet to bring us the wisdom and knowledge held by stellar cultures, because I was just asking them what to know. He also assists Hilarion on the fifth ray of technology, science, and knowledge to enable people to expand their higher mental abilities and develop spiritual technology for the future. Your guidance is to open your mind to communications and connections from other star systems and universes, and ask Marco to assist and protect you. I am open to the wisdom from the stars. And I very rarely get Marco, so this is very significant and very interesting at the same time. And 47 was the number I was getting. Remember I said 90 minus 43 is 47? And also that's that 7 of cups, which is your signs and synchronicities and your downloads. Okay, so this one is especially significant for those who are more science and math oriented, because it has to do with technology. But yeah, and I love the Marco Polo thing. It's Marco saying, just call out, Marco, and he'll say Polo. So if you hear Polo, that might actually be a message from Marco for you. I am open to wisdom from the stars. Oh, I like that one. All right, so the 5 other cards that came up here, and I'm not going to read them all, but I'll show them to you. We have Lemurian Healing, which is 24, which is also the Queen of Wands. And that's I send Lemurian Healing to Earth. Lady Nada. Lady Nada is the twin flame of Jesus' higher self, Sananda. 45 is the 5 of Cups. It's the grief card, right? Because also the Pisces era was all about sin and closing out our karma, basically. So now we're going into the freedom era of Aquarius. So she is the master of the 7th ray of ritual and magic. Here's the 7 again. Ceremonies that call in mighty forces are important, so you're reminded to bring people together to raise great light. The priestess in the Temple of Love in Atlantis, Lady Nada, is bringing back ancient healing methods, helping the development of intuition, telepathy, and wisdom, and acting for justice, which was a big deal in the read today. And your guidance is to trust your spiritual and psychic abilities and use them to help those in need. The affirmation is, I accept and practice my healing, spiritual, and psychic gifts. And that's in conjunction with Marco and Polo. Then we have Lord Kumika, 42. I'm not going to read them all, so you can read this. This 42 is the 2 of Cups. The affirmations, I call on Lord Kumika to enlighten and support me. And he works with Metatron and Kohan of the 8th ray, the soul ray of purification, enlightenment, and communication. We also have the Amethyst Skull, 21, which is the world. The affirmations, I explore all the information before I take a decision. So it's not only just using your intuition, but using your mind as well. The Amethyst Skull. And then we have Kuan Yin, which is very child-related. 43 then, here's the number that came up with the 90, minus 43 is 47. So these, I think, are most significant. They came out first and last. 43 and 47 is 90. Okay, so Kuan Yin, affirmation, I act from my divine feminine wisdom. She's the master of the 12th ray, and 12th would have been Pisces. So now we're going to the 11th sign. So the master of unconditional love, she radiates a vibrant cerise pink light of divine feminine energy, love, and compassion. And she's very much called in for women and for children as well. So she's re-empowering women everywhere and bringing forward feminine wisdom in men, and inviting those qualities, including your healing abilities. So there's a big focus here on your healing abilities. Allow yourself to go with the flow and share for the highest good. And this will subtly affect your stellar gateway chakra and build the Antakarana bridge to source. I act from my divine feminine. And Marco, and I'm getting that Kuan Yin is Polo, Marco Polo. He's calling in help. His partner in crime. Okay, because this is the feminine, Marco and Kuan Yin. That's an interesting combination. Very cool. All right, so now that we have who we're talking to, because we definitely have, Lady Nada coming in for Jesus and Mary Magdalene. And the Lemurians are here. And the Amethyst Skull, which can have to do with Lemurians as well, and Atlantis. And the Sphinx, because the Sphinx is the underlying energy. So both Atlantis and Lemuria are coming up here, along with Lord Kumika, the Lady Nada, and Lemurian healing, and Marco and Kuan Yin. Just want to keep them out. Very interesting. 90. If something else comes up around that when I say Marco and Polo, please comment below, because I think there's more that's coming up about that. I'm going to pull you from the past life deck as well. Let's see what comes up here. There might be some last squeezing out of the wounds here to get stuff that we've already squeezed out already, and there's just a little bit more to go. So let's see if there's anything coming up from the past life deck that we need to know about. 60, 71, 81, 91. Oh, that's funny. Okay, wait. All right, forgiveness. And I love this card because the smaller bird, I assume, is the female bird, and she's like yelling at the male bird, and he's ignoring her. So, forgiveness. We also have the knighthood upright. Okay, and this is reminding me of the guards at the death of Jesus. And this is basically Jesus and Mary Magdalene flying above the cross, arguing while he's going through his crucifixion. To make light of the situation. It's pretty funny, actually. Okay, let's see what else is coming up. We also have leaving or travel. So if you notice, if you look above the suitcase, it looks like a pyramid. And very Atlantis kind of energy. And it's funny because the three cards are very different. They're very different energies, all three of them. So just give me a second to look at them. The farm is reversed here too. All right, so this is what the farm looks like upright. So you got the horses and the barn. Very peaceful. There doesn't look like a lot of grass though. It looks very sparse and kind of dead. But this is reversed. This ain't your mother's farm, right? You know what I mean? It's that expression. It's not the old way of doing things. It's not down on the farm. The underlying energy here is spirituality and religion reversed. So it was just 1-12-12. So this is what it looks like upright, using your hands, opening your hands, rubbing your hands together to open your chakras, using the book, just open a book at any page, you might get a message, and using the light and the candles to combine your abilities. But this is turning it around. And it's saying to don't use it right now. This is the underlying energy. This is going away. So whereas before we denied our abilities or our resources even, or we've been denied of our resources. And these 4 cards are coming up as different colors too. Like even these 2 are different colors. They're different tones. So it's more of a bluish gray. This is more greenish brown. And I wanted to say taupe, but this is really more taupey to me. And then green over here. So it's going like from blues to greens. Just give me a sec. Well, the unicorn's coming up here for sure. So the horses on the farm are reversed because they want you to focus on the unicorn as opposed to the horse. This is not your mother's farm. This is the kind of farm where they have unicorns. There's definitely forgiveness needed. There are family crests being dealt with. There are arguments. And neither one of them may be wrong. They both are coming up as white and pure, but they're not seeing eye to eye anymore. They're no longer on the same page. So just because they're both white doves doesn't mean they're a match, okay? So there needs to be forgiveness there, or these can be two who are a match who need to forgive each other as well. And then we have the, the armor. We need to take off the armor. Someone's definitely leaving. It's a one-way ticket. I'm getting the Knights of the Round Table. The Knights of the Round Table and the Traveling Salesman, and now I'm getting Lancelot. And Arthur. And this actually could be a disagreement between a father and child as opposed to a man and a woman. Right? The one who won't settle down. Who's always wandering. And now letting them wander. But this isn't your mother's kind of farm. Someone might want to go off and live on a farm, but it's going to be a farm like no other. It's kind of interesting here. And somebody might be taking a train across the country as well. Maybe someone wants to... I'm not getting a trip around the world, and obviously it's not easy to take a trip around the world right now. But maybe traveling around the country, visiting different things, or even reenactments were coming up in the read today. That could be something coming up here as well. I don't want to hold you up too much. I'm not getting much more than that. But it's really about... The underlying energy was not using your chakras or the books or the light. And is now like wanting to experience everything instead of going within, like experiencing all the different things in life, getting a different flavor, a variety to see what works best for you, getting a little taste of different things as opposed to going within, because you've probably gone within a lot. Very interesting. And also because these guys came up too about making sure you know what you value, because the storm warning is coming. You may have an opportunity coming up. And are you going to take, that's so funny, are you going to take door number 1, door number 2, or door number 3? Are you going to go? Are you going to be scared? Or are you going to follow your heart? You're going to go with your passions? You're going to go with your fears or your heart? Very interesting. Okay, well, I'm going to let you go. It's getting long already. It's 1:17. So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, your joy in your nature, and rise and be love, you guys. Love you guys. Take it easy.